Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste everyone, and welcome to this conversation this evening that I am having with the lovely Swami Yogaratna Saraswati. And before we begin this conversation, I'd just like to let everyone know that this conversation is being recorded so that we can have that up on our YouTube pages, and it is also being live streamed on my Facebook page. So just to let you know, if you'd like to turn your videos off or not, then this is the time. But we will also be led into a short meditation by Swamiji at around in about 40 minutes. And then that will be followed by 10 minutes available for interaction or any questions that you may have for us. So if you've got something that you'd like to share, please feel free to bring this to the conversation at that point in time. Okay. So before we begin, I'd like to start with a short chant. So we will start with 3 Omkaras followed by Sahana Bhavatu. So please settle down. Softening your face, softening your body. Gentle smile within your heart reflected on your face. Watching your breath. Watching the gentle inflow and outflow of the breath. Inhaling deeply for Omkaras. Om. 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 Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Namaste everyone. Welcome once again to this conversation. My name is Lavina and I am the Curvy Yogi, representing the Curvy Yogi as well. And with me is my lovely friend, my mentor, my friend again, Swami Yogaratna Saraswati, who I have the absolute pleasure to share with you this evening because Swamiji is so much of grace and so much of wisdom and knowledge that I think when it comes to this conversation, there was no one better who I could bring in. Swamiji, I think we will speak about the ashram as well at this point in time, but also to bring about it later. Swamiji has the Shankarprasad Foundation, the Shankarprasad Ashram in Gokarna, that is closer to the south of India, and runs a number of activities. She is very well known for her Yoga Nidra practice as well as teachers training. And many of you, I think, who have already registered and who are in the audience have attended Swamiji's classes, workshops, and maybe some of you are also graduates of her teaching programs. Today, we are here in conversation with Swamiji to speak about mantra, but mantra not just for what it is, but also in terms of authenticity, in terms of practice, in terms of why we practice mantra. Where does mantra fit in for us as yoga practitioners, let alone teachers, and how does it factor into our practice towards being honest towards the practice, to including bhakti into our practice, to include the practice for the sake of the practice. So without taking too much time with the introduction, Swamiji, hello and namaste, and let us speak, Swamiji. We're speaking about mantra. So what is mantra, Swamiji?
Thank you very much, Luvina. Well, we've just been chanting mantras, and a mantra technically is a sacred word of power. And usually when we think of mantras, we think of Sanskrit mantras, but actually mantras could be in any language, and most of the ancient languages are mantras. And the vibration of a mantra is something that really has an effect on us, a deep effect. You have to remember that our bodies are about 70% liquid, and our brains, they say, are 90% liquid. Now, if you think of a pool or a pond of water, and if you throw a pebble on one end, you'll see the ripples going all the way to the other end. So when you set up a vibration, whether it be audible at the throat or even a silent, subtle vibration by thinking or by whispering, that is going to create a little vibration, which is going to have quite a big effect on our 70 to 90% liquid in the body. So even on the physical plane, it has an effect on us. But mentally, psychically, and subtly, the mantras have a great effect on us, and different kinds of effects. So they say that a mantra has three meanings. One meaning is the relationship that you have with it. For example, if you got a guru mantra, the significance of the guru, the relationship of the guru, the atmosphere of the day when you got it and the time when you got it will have a significance for you. The second meaning is the literal meaning. And the third meaning is the benefit of the mantra or the effect of the mantra. So we usually never think of these other meanings, but that's really important, because that's why, you know, when you get a guru mantra, you have a special relationship with it. And many people think, oh, well, you know, everyone's getting the same mantra, so really does it matter? It does matter, because you're having a particular relationship to your guru or to the time when you got it, the significance. And so that will always be echoing within you each time you chant your mantra. And because the guru has given you the mantra, or perhaps you received it during a pilgrimage to a sacred place, that the connotation is with you, and you are getting part of that vibration. So by chanting the mantra, you're creating a vibration, you're creating an energy field, and you're also getting the benefit of that energy and the meaning and the benefit of the mantra. So when you get a guru mantra, it's kind of like you're joining a spiritual family, or you're coming into a spiritual flow or a river of vibration. And so that's going to have an effect on you. And every time, usually when we get a guru mantra, the only commitment is to repeat it every day, and say 108 times, or one mala. And then when by repeating it, we're taking in that vibration, we're creating a vibration, and we're benefiting from it. So the mantra has a very deep effect. And of course, it's much better if you get a mantra from your guru or from a traditional source, a lineage, because then it has that deep connection with that lineage. You can pick up a mantra, you know, you can calculate a mantra according to astrological thing, or you can get a mantra from a book or the YouTube nowadays and think, yes, this is really nice, I love the meaning and all that. But it has a special relationship when you get it from your guru.
Yes, Swamiji. In fact, it's a great thing that you mentioned that, because I think today one of the reasons why we wanted to bring this conversation is because of how mantra today is sometimes used so loosely. Anything is considered a mantra. And of course, when we consider the vibration of it, we can think of it in one way. But when we think of the significance of the guru, when we think of the significance of the lineage, then that is something where we really want to draw authenticity towards. You come from a lineage as well. We both belong to the same lineage. I think, our audience and I myself would love to hear, your experience, your story within the lineage of how it was. And I know you've told me some of this before, and in one of our long chats when we had lots of time to spend, but do share, Swamiji, how was it, when you received that, your mantra with your guru within the lineage? What was that? There must have been something significant, something very different to picking it off YouTube.
Yeah, well, actually, it's kind of going on a different topic because I don't think I really understood the significance of a mantra when I first got it. But I had such an amazing experience of meeting my guru. It was kind of like wow and how, and it completely changed my life. It was kind of an explosion in my head and in my life. And of course, the mantra was part of it. And because of my very deep connection to my guru in attraction, the mantra was very significant and important. And of course, I got my guru mantra first. And then when I took sannyas, which was just about a year after that, I had a different mantra. And so sometimes the mantra was revealed, and sometimes the mantra is revealed, and that also will have a very explosive and deep meaning. And there's no doubt about it. You have a kind of feeling of certainty, and this is right, and this is this is me. So it's kind of difficult to explain, but I'm sure that people have had that experience of it's kind of like magic or miracle or something. And then once you've got your mantra, it's a little bit like getting your PUC or your 12th standard certificate or your university graduation. It's kind of like everything changes because of that particular significance. So it's probably not a very good analogy, but one thing I find is that once you have your mantra and you're into the flow of the chanting, eventually you're supposed to have it as part of your breath. So this is the difference between japa and ajapa. So japa means continuous repetition of the mantra. And traditionally, when you get a mantra, you'll be getting a mala with it, which is a rosary of 108 beads. And traditionally, for each bead, you chant your mantra once. And you can chant it at any speed. But when you link it with your breath in the practice of ajapa, ajapa means spontaneous repetition of the mantra. So when you start practicing ajapa, then as you breathe, you mentally repeat your mantra in time with the movement and rhythm of your breathing. So then what happens is the mantra gets linked with your breath, so that eventually every time you realize that you're breathing, the mantra kicks in. And the breath is something that is always there while you're alive. So the mantra is always there too while you're alive. And this can be really, really supportive thing in times of trouble, sadness, grief, nervousness, anxiety. If you start mentally repeating your mantra, then it really gives you that kind of support and clarity and direction. And I know someone who, every time he has some kind of anxiety or depression, he just starts mentally repeating his mantra, and immediately everything, goes away. You see, another thing about the mantra, especially if you've got a complicated mantra. Now, usually when the guru gives you mantra, it's a simple mantra, like Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha or Om Namah Shivaya. And it's, a fairly simple one because you're a beginner. But sometimes you take on a mantra, the Guru might even suggest it, which is 3 verses, 3 lines or 4 lines. And it's a little bit more engaging for the mind. And this is really good because what happens is it's like a brainwashing, but it's a good brainwashing because you're repeating the mantra and you're focusing on that mantra. And even after it becomes automatic repetition, it's taking the place of other unwanted thoughts. Now, most of us, we have a conscious mind and we have an unconscious mind. And usually in the unconscious mind, all kinds of thoughts are happening that we don't have any control over, but we wish that we had. And so by chanting mantra, it kind of drowns out and pushes out those negative, unwanted, depressive, anxiety thoughts. So it's really, really useful, even on a kind of a physical and simple level. The mantra is a really useful and beautiful thing. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of like an insurance in a way. Once you have your mantra, you feel safe, you're secure, you feel that you've got the protection and the guidance of the guru that gave you mantra. Is there a question there, Neha?
We will take the questions at the end,
At
Neha.
the end,
So
right.
we'll take them later. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Swamiji, you did mention just now about, receiving the mantra as well. And it's interesting because when we're talking about receiving it within the lineage as well. So Swami Satyananda's practice in itself, both of japa and ajapa, which we practice within the Bihar school tradition as well, is something that you teach as well. So how does that fit in to keeping the tradition alive within that sampradaya, the methodology of teaching? Because I know many of you teach, many of you are very senior teachers when it comes to meditative practices, yoga nidra, and japa as well. So what is it that differentiates a taught practice from within that tradition to just simply picking a mala and repeating a mantra?
I'm trying to think of an analogy to explain it. It's I think it's the difference between a TV dinner and a home cooked dinner. You can buy TV dinner. It's very predictable. It's always the same. It might be delicious, but with a home cooked dinner, it has a special bhakti or vibration about it, and you can cook it just the way you want. So it's a little bit like that you can have a beautiful mantra from a book and it's perfect, it's got very good vibrations, it may suit you and everything, but there's something missing. There's some subtle thing missing. And I feel a bit kind of, I don't know whether sad is the word to say this, but it's so much more difficult to get a mantra these days. I remember when I got my mantra, everyone was lining up and getting mantra. And when Swami Naranjan was giving mantras, when Swami Satyananda was giving mantras, it was you just went there, put in your name for mantra and got it. Now I don't think it's that easy. You can get a mantra. Swami Naranjan is not getting mantras nowadays. He's not giving them. Swami Satsangi, she is giving mantras, and she is carrying the what's it called, the mantle of the lineage as far as giving mantra diksha goes. And it's quite difficult even to get a date when the mantra will be given. And I mean, I can teach all the practices of the Bihar School of Yoga. I know them all from A to Z and have been practicing them over the years. But I don't give mantra diksha. I'm not ordained to do it. If someone has a mantra, I can teach you how to use it. I can tell you how to use it. I can tell you how wonderful it is. But, getting mantra diksha is, I guess there are, other gurus that give mantra diksha, but I think it's more difficult to get it these days.
You're very right, Swamiji. I remember when I received my mantra diksha from Swami Satyasangi, and you had actually in one conversation urged me to write to her. Well, there were a number of other experiences as well, and for me to receive my mantra from her it was all those things that you mentioned earlier. It was magical. It was moving, and I remember calling you and saying, Swamiji, I don't really know what I'm feeling. Yeah, it feels very different, but I'm feeling something. And at the same time, I received the adhikara to give mantra from a different teacher, from a teacher who had initiated me into mantra many years ago in a different way. So that's where I learned to calculate it. But for my own practice, it was from Swami Satyasangi. So this very idea of the of holding space for that practice, to teach it, to teach only what you have the eligibility to teach, it is something that you just speak about. And then I want the audience also to please, to pay attention to that we someone as knowledgeable as Swamiji is here right now, telling us that Swamiji can teach us how to put that practice within her tradition, right? You can, if you have the mantra, she can teach you how to practice it, but she cannot give you the mantra because she does not have the eligibility. She doesn't have the adhikara for that. And for those of you who've been in previous conversation, adhikara, that is a very important and a significant part of lineage-based practices. Why? Why is that adhikara so important? Swamiji, any thoughts on that? On why do we hold that adhikara, that eligibility, that ordination to give a mantra even, and when no one is watching, right? We can do that. But what is it that holds us back from it?
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that story about a Kacha guru. And, we had, when I was in the tradition and Swami Satyananda was there, and there were many Swamis around, there's always this idea of a Kacha guru. It's people who think that they're gurus and, giving all kinds of initiations, but, they weren't. And so eventually they fell on their faces. But it's really difficult uh, to know if you are a guru yourself, because it's not a person. You don't say, okay, now I'm a guru and I can give mantra. It's something that is given from the divine and is given from your guru, and it's something actually that the disciple is the one who creates the guru, not the guru. It's the disciple who finds in someone, the guidance, the connection, the connection, the lineage. And so when people want to follow you, when people connect with you and they want your guidance and that tradition, in that way, that relationship makes you their guru. It's not like you can have an announcement or a name board and just announce, now I'm a guru. It's the disciple that makes the guru, not the person who thinks they're a guru. So that's the only thing I could say.
So let's speak a little bit now about disciples then. When we have this discipleship and we're learning about mantra, we're learning japa, and we receive the mantra, or we don't. Can anyone incorporate mantra and japa into their practice?
Of course. In fact, even if you don't have mantra diksha, you can incorporate a mantra. You can get a mantra according to your astrological thing. And sometimes what happens is people will pick up a mantra, for example, Gayatri mantra. Gayatri mantra is many times given by the family guru, especially in India. Or there's another mantra that you found really helps you and you practice that. And then you meet your guru, and your guru, I've seen Swami Niranjan actually, saying, giving someone a mantra that they've already been doing. So he picks up on it. And so even if they don't know the guru, they can bless your guru and then put their Shakti into it, so that when you chant your guru mentally or aloud, it has your guru's Shakti and lineage in it. So I think it's good, even if you don't have a guru, to chant mantra, to to find a mantra that really clicks for you. But it's not something that you try this mantra and then, no, I don't feel in the mood today, so let me see if I can find another mantra. This is being very fickle, and it won't work. There's a nice story about saying that, if you dig a well for 2 feet and you don't get water, and then you go and dig somewhere else, and then you go and dig somewhere else, you're never going to hit water. But if you keep digging and go deeper and deeper, eventually you're going to get water. So it's very important to keep the same mantra and keep doing it, especially at times when you are having some kind of difficulty or problem or hardship, depression, and you think, this is not the mantra for me, and you think, I'm going to change my mantra, this is not the right one. So it's really important at that time to stick to your mantra and to keep doing it willy-nilly, because that's really when you need it. When you're going through your hard times, that is really when the chitta shuddhi, or the purification, is happening, and that's what you need, is to keep doing the mantra so that you can get through that.
Yes, it's beautiful that you remind us of Chitta Shuddhi, because many of my teachers, when I was learning, when I was initiated in mantra, the constant reminder was that your japa, your repetition of the mantra, is not going to give you moksha, but it is definitely going to give you the Chitta Shuddhi that prepares us for deeper spiritual practices, for the study, for jnanam. So Chitta Shuddhi is something that we hold as an aspiration as well. And for those of you, who are also listening, we're nearing towards the time when we'll be sitting for a meditation with Swamiji. But also to let you know that there is a mantra meditation workshop that will be happening on the 10th and the 17th with me, where there will be a mantra that is calculated for you that you can practice. And there are some of us in the audience as well who have been initiated into the practice, who've been practicing for many years, and I can only say that meditating with mantra, with with the practice or with the methodology that is taught, is something that is really deep and sustaining. It is what creates the groundwork and the foundation for a lot of yoga as well. And but at the same time, Swamiji here as well has a lot of activities that are going on in her ashram. And right now, there's a very interesting and very compassionate activity that is all over the ashram when it comes to our little furry friends. And Swamiji, a little insight on what's happening at the Shankarprasad ashram, please.
Well, at this very moment, there's one cat about to attack another cat, and that's why I had to switch off to throw a few things at the cat. Oh, if you hear any yowling, you'll know what it is. But we are in the process of setting up an animal care center, and especially for sterilizing street dogs and helping healing, treating injured animals. And we have at the moment a cat here who was must have been mauled by a dog, and we've got him there and giving him treatment, and he's getting better. So like this, it's it's a very fulfilling thing that's going on. But we have to, we've been spending money on renovating a place, getting ready. And we're looking for people who would like to run a center like that, or who'd like to be there volunteering. And we, at the moment, also we're having a holiday camp for the kids, and that is so much fun. We're doing all the things that they don't get at school. So all kinds of dance. We're doing Bharatanatyam, Zumba, and Bhangra, and other things. We're doing racing and sports, and we're doing clay work and crafts and arts and singing and English, computer, and everything that they don't get to have a chance, so that they can develop themselves. So martial arts and swimming, and so it's really fun. I've just spent the afternoon making little Ganeshas out of clay. So these are some of the things. We also give medical and educational sponsorship. One of our previous employees the roof has caved in because we had untimely rain. And so, you know, we're seeing how we can help her out. So these, and now the people come here for retreat to just live in a community, ashram community, practice their practices, and live, you know, the yogic life, the ashram life. It's a kind of, Swami Narayan has described it as the step 2 or the second step. It's not just teaching yoga and attending classes, but it's living yoga, living in a community, living in ashram, and doing the daily things, and you know, the different vibrations. I'm still trying to find out what it is. I think that because I'm in it, I can't see it, and I don't feel like I know it. But people do come here for retreat, and they, you know, they get a lot out of it. I can't, I don't feel like I'm doing anything, but I think just being in that situation has an effect. But one thing I wanted to say is that one of the very regular activities that we do is chanting mantra. So every morning from 5:45 to 6:45, we chant various different mantras that have different effects and different vibrations. And in the evening also, in fact, they're going to be starting mantra chanting right now, 8 to 9, while I'm giving this talk. And chanting mantras in a group and aloud is a totally different thing to having your own personal mantra and doing your silent japa or repetition of the mantra. And it's a very beautiful thing because, you know, what is the meaning of yoga? Yoga means union and harmony. So you're having people getting together, and we have it online as well, so that people, wherever they are, they can join in. And everyone is chanting the same mantra, the same pronunciation, the same tune, the same speed together. And so this is a coming together, and this is the yoga. Now, we never think of mantra chanting as being a yoga, but it is. Even the silent chanting of your own guru mantra, your own personal mantra, is a yoga, because you are in oneness with that mantra and with the divine and the tradition that it comes from. So kind of spread your ideas and realize that even these things are a yoga and a very good way of merging with the divine and the higher consciousness.
Yes,
I
Swamiji.
invite people to join in with those mantra chanting sessions. If you're interested, you can just contact and
Yeah.
like chanting and singing. You'll love it.
Yes, I've just put in your Instagram handle in the chat as well. But it also is a reinforcement to say that yoga is a lot of practices. When we talk about the tradition, when we talk about authentic practice, it's not just, you know, the asana. It's not just the Surya Namaskar. It's not just unfolding your mat there and doing a set of physical practices. It's a consolidation of so many things, including lifestyle, including being there, living in communion, living in community. You don't always have to be isolated, just being there with community. Then there is mantra that comes in, and then there is that the unison of that sound. I remember we had done the 108 chants of the Hanuman Chalisa sometime last year, and we had people.
Yes,
Yes, and we had, yes, and we had people from all over the world, and we took so many hours, but we were there together, and that sense of community that comes in, and that sense of oneness, all of these things, these practices that are just beautiful, and they help us to connect not just with another, but also within ourselves. So that's an absolutely beautiful practice that you do bring in, Swamiji. You know, I was thinking just before we get into meditation, when we speak about pronunciation, then, because you did speak about this, right? And I know both of us have been students of Veda chanting for a while. We were colleagues and in the same class. And how rigorous it was for us to even pay attention to the pronunciation that we need to put in, especially when there is, you know, a sentence in itself or the mantras. And I know, I mean, you do have exposure to the language, so there is a sense of ease. But for people who may not, now there are some who say that it's just devotion that comes in, and I just feel it, so I can say it however I want. But isn't there the effort? The consistent effort that one must put, and not take it the easy way out, saying, hey, I'm not Indian, I can't pronounce it that way, so we'll just have to make do with my sense of devotion. So where does that pronunciation, very quickly, I mean, I know we could have brought this earlier, but we did speak about it now when we spoke about group chanting. So maybe a quick one before we get into meditation, as to the importance of pronouncing it correctly, pronouncing these vibrational words correctly.
Yeah, it is very important. And I think that most people can do it if they have the patience. Because you see, what happens is a lot of people, when they get the mantra, before they hear it, they read it and then they interpret it in their own language. So, for example, in Sanskrit, you have two A's, and A. But in English, you have four A's. And when you read in English, you can't tell which A you're chanting or saying. You have to know how it is before you read it. But with Sanskrit, everything is so specific and correct and phonetic that you can, even if you don't know the word, you can chant it. Many times when I'm chanting, I have no idea of the meaning of what I'm chanting, but I can chant it perfectly because I can read the script. And through tuning my ears, luckily, my tongue was made in India. And so I learned Hindi and English at the same time. And I was studying Hindi, the script in school. So luckily, I've got that background. But the advantage for me is that I can help Westerners wrap their tongue around the pronunciation because I know the kind of thing they're thinking of. And if I just tell them, well, it's like this and it's not like that, it's like a cup of tea, not ah or ah, or it's like ah. So, I can, because I'm, half Western and half Indian, I can help people to get their tongues around the pronunciation. So I really believe that people can learn how to pronounce properly. And for me, it's, of course, the effort is there because that gives you the tenacity and the perseverance. But another thing, which I think will be very clear of why you should pronounce clearly. You see, you're setting up a vibration. So, for example, if someone says beat, if someone says bitch instead of beach, it's going to have a totally different reaction. And even the vibration in the air or on a subtle level is going to have a totally different vibration. So if you can understand the difference between bitch and beach, you'll understand why it's good to pronounce the mantras correctly. Of course, if you have your love and devotion, that also is really important. There's a very good story, just in a nutshell, about the priest who one priest led to another, and the first one knew everything and he did everything correctly. But then the second one, he knew less, and anyway, going down the thing, the one who followed in the end, he was an illiterate, and all he could say is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or in Sanskrit, and like that. And so he used to go and pray. He used to feel so bad about it. He used to go and pray in the forest to God, and he'd say, oh, dear God, please forgive me. I don't know all the mantras and the prayers. I only know the alphabet. I'll chant the alphabet and you can put them together the way it's supposed to be done. And please bless my flock and please bless the devotees in the temple. And so this is such a beautiful thing that, he couldn't actually pronounce the mantras, but at least he had that, the force of his devotion and shraddha. So, I mean, you can argue anyway, and it's really good to have both. It's good to have a good pronunciation and think, okay, I'm really putting effort in making this into a good thing, and I'm, doing it perfectly. And it's also good to have your love and devotion. That also is.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for reiterating that and for reinforcing that for all of us. I think that's both a beautiful story as well as a good reminder for the importance of putting in the effort, but at the same time having that bhakti and shraddha, because none of the practices would be anything if shraddha was missing. So thank you so much for that. And I think it's about time for us to move into settling down into one of your most beautiful meditations. So I'll let you take over. So we've got, so everyone, if you can settle down into whichever comfortable space, and Swamiji will lead us through a meditation. Thank you.
Good. So sitting comfortably in your meditation asana, feel the shape and position of your physical body and find its center of equilibrium so that it's neither leaning forward nor back, neither to the right nor left, but totally in alignment with the force of gravity. And let the centeredness of your body bring focus to your mind and bring your mind to the present moment. And focus on the stillness of your body. The legs are still and relaxed, comfortable. The arms are still and relaxed. The torso is still and upright. The head is still and balanced. Whole body still and steady. Even the floor or the support under your body is still. Invite that stillness and steadiness up into your body. As if the body and the floor are carved out of one rock, intensifying the stillness and steadiness of your physical body. And once you've settled into the stillness of your body and reached that state of psychic stillness, diasteria, you begin to notice the gentle movement of your breathing. Be careful not to change that natural relaxed rhythm. Just let the breathing continue as it has been doing. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you follow the rhythm of your breath, try and listen to the sound of your breathing. Perhaps it has a sucking sound like so as you inhale, and a humming sound, a sighing sound like hum as you exhale. Gently whispering the universal mantra, so hum. as you inhale and exhale. And if you have your own personal mantra, mentally repeat that mantra with your breath. And keep following your breath with the mantra, finding the rhythm of how the mantra adjusts to the rhythm of the breath. So as you inhale and hum as you exhale, or Om as you inhale and the rest of the mantra as you exhale, or half the mantra as you inhale and the other half as you exhale. Let the different rhythms experiment within you until you get the right rhythm of the mantra with the breath. Remembering that the breath is leading, not the mantra. And that way, the mantra will synchronize perfectly with your natural relaxed breathing. Continue by yourself. Each breath and mantra sweeping through your mind, emptying your mind, filling it with positivity and energy, taking it closer and closer to the divine. Let the mantra and the breath soothe you and wash through your mind, energize you and guide you and take you breath by breath to the divine. Notice how you feel in this state. And when you're doing this practice by yourself, continue as long as you like in the same. But now, coming back, bringing back with you the inner experiences, insights, and the vibration of the mantra. Coming back gently, gently to the physical body, feeling the solidness and the shape of your body resting against the floor or its support. Coming back to the floor beneath you and the space around you. and the rest of this room, knowing that you are here now. Take a few deep breaths in and out to break the stillness of your body and to bring you back fully. And we'll finish off by chanting Om 3 times together. Take a deep breath in now. Om. 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 Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Hari Om. Let's finish off with calming. Rub the palms together until they're hot. Cup the center of the palms over your closed eyes. And draw in the energy generated from your palms into your eyes and brain to refresh them. And gently open your eyes with a big smile on your face. And give that smile to the other cheek, please. And keep it for the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that practice, Swamiji. You know, it's a good time to just settle down and take it a little quietly. But we do have the next 10 minutes for thoughts and for questions from our audience. And yes, feel free to stretch and, you know, just get back just the way Kristen is doing. I can see that. But Neha, I think, is she here? Is Neha here?
She had a question. In
Yes.
fact, I wanted to say that I create meditations for Eka meditation app. So if you're interested in hearing more of the meditations, especially Yoga Nidra, there are many other things on Eka, EKA meditation app that can help you with some things, including the mantra meditation. So I haven't created the mantra meditation on, but I just thought I'd let you know in case people are.
Yes, the Eka meditation app. So that's also there with Swamiji's.
Lena?
I do have it, but I don't get a lot of them. But I do have the previous ones that we had connected them.
No. I mean, have you got your own app?
My own app? No, I just have me. I don't have an app yet. So I think
I was just remembering some time ago, someone is trying to insist that I get an app. And I thought, oh my God, I've got enough problems as it is.
I remember, I think we'd been to that studio together. We were there and we were sitting in Bangalore when you had visited. And then we had chaat and we had coffee. And yes, we did have that. I had the coffee. But yes, everyone, we have the next 6 minutes. So if you do have any questions for us, if you've got any questions for Swamiji about mantra, about meditation, any thoughts, please feel free to either put them in the chat or just raise your hand so I can unmute you and you can come in and share with us. Meanwhile, I also have just put in a quick note there about the upcoming workshop. But yes, if anybody does have a question or thoughts, please. Thank you, and you're very welcome, all of you. Swamiji, any closing thoughts while we have people who are coming in for us, with questions? If they have, okay, I see Suman has a question. Suman, would you like to unmute yourself and come in, or would you like to type it there? If you'd like to type it, then please type there.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you very much, Swamiji. I have connected to you in Bangalore, and back then at Malleshwaram, I was jumping from one guru to another guru, trying to learn all the techniques which are there to have like an arsenal of index. And then you had told me, you know what, you need to stick to one guru, you need to stick to one mantra, and to be on that path consistently. And at that day when you had told me, I was offended. I was like, how can Swamiji put me down? How can she say this? I have such an intelligence, I'm capable of it, so I should go to the next guru in some cave and I have to hunt him. So I really thank you honestly from the bottom of my heart for putting me in my place and giving me the truth. Honestly, it has helped me re-establish why I happened to take the initiation from my guru when I did not know many gurus. It got me to my lineage guru, my parampara guru, my family guru, and I completely understand when you reinforced it. And yeah, at that moment I did not understand it. Honestly, it took me like almost 6 months to really understand the truth what you had given to me, the reminder what you had given to me. So I honestly thank you for that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. It's good
Yes.
to know that
Yeah.
sometimes uh, a difficult thing to say that you might have offended someone has actually helped you in the long run. So thank you very much for the positive feedback, Suman.
Yeah.
And do come and visit the ashram sometime and tell
Yeah.
me about your guru.
Yes, Swamiji. I'm really keen on meeting you soon. I should be back to see you probably in this coming October, November, Swamiji.
In fact, I wanted to tell people that volunteering and doing seva and karma yoga is another yoga that's very, very fulfilling.
Yes, very true. I think for most of us, when mantra still ends up supporting us very spiritually, the karma yoga path is something that's open and available to all of us. So volunteering, if that's something that you have the time for, then please do come in. I think the kind of community that Swamiji also drives and attracts is a beautiful space for you to be. I know because I have some lovely family all from the same parampara, and I can assure you that if you find yourself at the ashram there, you will be in the midst of beautiful people just like yourselves, because if you'll go there, then you are one of them already, right? um, all right, I don't think we've got way too many questions. We don't have any questions or comments. So Swamiji, last words and thoughts from you, please. Closing thoughts from you about mantra, about meditation, lineage, any of the thing as, a synthesis of this evening.
Well, I was thinking that maybe, I put people off having initiation. But the thing is, mantra is not only a personal mantra, you could be chanting like we chant mantras every morning and evening. And if you like singing and chanting and you like the sound of the mantras, you can listen to mantras. Now on YouTube, there's so much there. You can join in groups of chanting. You can sing kirtans. There's so many different ways of chanting, enjoying, and getting the benefit of mantras. So don't think that initiation, having your own guru mantra is the only way. But of course, it is a very powerful way. And when it's available, like it is now for you through Lavina, definitely it's worthwhile to take advantage of that. But it has to click, It's, as I was saying to Suman, you have to have a special relationship with the guru. It's someone who you feel comfortable with and who you feel can guide you and understand you. So I wish you all the best, Lavina. I'm sure that you can guide and help many.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Swamiji.
much for inviting me on this. I really,
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure, Swamiji. It's my absolute pleasure. I mean, you're one of the first people I think of when it comes to sharing not just personal stories, but also the spiritual journey. And I think many of my friends and our friends over here in the audience have benefited from just listening to the conversation. It may sound very simple, but aligning ourselves with integrity, aligning ourselves with keeping our practice pure, with keeping our practice authentic, with the effort, with the bhakti, with the devotion, with the shraddha, is all something that, you know, we feel encouraged when we see people like Swami Yogaratna who come and share with us freely, openly, from the heart. And on that note, I'd like to thank all of you for being here. It's the top of the hour, and thank you for sharing your time with us. Thank you for spending 1 hour of your time with us. On behalf of both Swami Yogaratna Saraswati and myself, I wish you all a very pleasant evening, a very pleasant morning, wherever you are, with lots of good wishes for your journey. Please stay in touch. There's a lot more that we can share with all of you. And before we close, I'd like to end with Purnamadaha, and you can see our coordinates to stay in touch in chat and on social media as well. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Swamiji, Hari Om. Lots of love to you.
Lavina, all the best.
All the best to you too. And I love you as usual. And I'm going to see you very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.